Assalamualaikum to my lecturer and all my fellow classmates. This video was prepared by Shaibatul Hamdi, Aliyana, Aishah, Fariah and me, Mohd Qayyuum. In this video, we will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of telephone interview of data collection. But firstly, we have to know what is data collection. Data collection is the procedure of collecting, measuring, analyzing accurate insight for research using standard validated technique. Usually, data collection is the primary and the most important step for most research today. There are also a few methods of data collection, which is including telephone interview. Telephone interview is a method where the interviewer speaks with the respondent over the telephone using the prepared questionnaire. For this type of inquiry, standardized questionnaire with closed-end questions are usually preferred. As a result, the phone interview is short and focused on gathering specific details. So we will move to the first advantages of telephone interview. Telephone interview is cost-effective and easier to conduct. This is because both interviewer and respondent doesn't have to travel to do the interview. They can just stay at home and do the interview session on the phone. It will save their travel costs and the interviewer only need to spend his money on mobile prepaid. It is also easier to conduct since the interview is via telephone. The interviewer just has to call the respondent and talk about the prepared questionnaire to them. The other advantages of telephone interview is quick data processing and handling. This is because since the interview is done via telephone, the data will be collected quickly. The interviewer doesn't have to wait for any survey form to be collected. For example, when the interviewer calls the respondent and asks the questionnaire, he can take note the respondent feedback on that time. The data will be collected on the spot, which is make it as an advantage for this method.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Aliyana and I will explain about the next advantages. In my opinion, I think that conducting interview via telephones offer high response rate. It is because people are likely answering to phone call within few seconds. This will work when we need to conduct a data collection within a short time. Not only that, we also can get the answer directly from the respondent through a phone call. Telephone interview will also keep the respondent engaged and stay focused along the interview unlike the other methods. Next, high accessibility. Since everyone has their own telephones, it is easier for us to reach them as respondent. It is important to know that not everyone prefer to do a meet-up. Some of them find it that it is uncomfortable to talk in person, eye to eye, so they prefer to do a phone call instead. During these pandemic situations, people choose to do a phone call rather than sit for a meet-up for their own safety. As we will also advise to reduce physical contact. Furthermore, telephone interview is a good method as it allows us to clearly convey the questions. Since we are doing interview via telephone, it will create two-way communication. As we know, two-way communication allows us to deliver a message and receive response accurately. When the respondent have better understanding, the answer given will be more clear and relatable. It is also important for us to have a good communication skill and ethics during telephone interview. I think that's all from me and I will pass the next slide to my other group member. Thank you.
Hai, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Shaibatul Hamdi Nazri. So what is the next advantages in this video? So the next advantages in this video are comes interview anxiety, which is mean on the phone you can often speak with a confidence and portray your true self. By the way, you are not able to face with the interview, which is remove a major source of anxiety. Which means you can also hold the phone when interview in a familiar environment such as your own home, which is increases your comfort level. So the next advantages is the time effectiveness. So what is time effectiveness? Okay, so basically time effectiveness is with no travel time. This is the easiest way to conduct an interview, which means the call can be taken at home or other workspace while doing other tasks before and after, so it doesn't interrupt the potentially productive day. So that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nuraisyah binti Ahmad Zawawi, and I will explain about disadvantages of telephone interview. First of all, the disadvantages of telephone interview is no body language. Actually, while interviewing, body language can give the interviewer a great deal of information that is not conveyed by the spoken word alone. This is because body language is a great indicator of what you are actually thinking and feeling. Everything from your facial expressions and subtle gestures to vocal tone and volumes makes up your body language. So, this means that by interviewing via telephone, we can see or know whether the information really convincing or not. Next disadvantages of telephone interview is interviewee can easily distracted by the surrounding area. When we are going to interview someone via phone, we don't know where their current location, or where they went to. The probably scenario is interviewee might be at the noisy place or in a bad location. That makes it difficult to hear the final points of the call. Also, it is not easy to make a record of what is said during the call, and the things might be forgotten or misinterpreted. Besides, the response rates are normally lower than face-to-face interview. Okay, research by Hawkins, Rogers, and Gross found that respondents express more discomfort about discussing sensitive topics over telephone than face-to-face, and the interviewers reported that most respondents said they would have preferred to be interviewed face-to-face rather than by telephone. Also, the chance to get left hanging is there. If the applicant doesn't like what he is hearing or is frustrated by the questions, he can end the call with no warning. Okay, that is all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nuraisyah binti Abdul Aziz. My matric number is 2019297526. Okay, I will present about the disadvantages on using telephone in data collection. Firstly, limited complexity of question. Using telephone is difficult to make elaboration on their responses. The reason why is phone interview usually be limited to 5 or 10 minutes only. People will hang up with longer telephone surveys, and the resulting is did not complete interview. Besides that, using telephone interviews generally will keep their question and answer relatively brief. So, the data collection will not get an accurate and detailed information. So, as the data collection, they need to prepare the question as well, because when surveying started, they need to ask immediately and they need to figure what the action that they need to do after that. Secondly is answer given may be not clear and probably to get wrong information. Using telephone, they need to prepare the best connection, or sometimes it is because of network problem. So, the people cannot talk properly, and sometimes this is very annoying limitation on the telephone. The result is the bad connection can make the answer not clear and hard to receive the answer from second time. Other than that, distracted by noisy environment also can probably to get wrong information. It is because when getting an answer in various sound from the background, it will causes misleading information in surveying. The result is misleading information will happen, and it will encourage to make the bad decision. It is because the roasting about telephone surveying. The person need to pay attention to particular points, and they need to make excellent sentence or written note and well prepared to solve the problem. Last but not least, they need to find the better place before started their interview. To sum up, data collection using telephone generally far less satisfying from a human standpoint than doing face-to-face. It causes shortage of opportunity to observe the expression and body language of the people with whom we are serving. Telephone negotiation is the most effectively when it is a follow-up to in-person conversation. Nonetheless, data collection using telephone is the most satisfying on human level when doing on letters, fax, or email. Written communication may have gone through several drafts, such as telephone conversation are left to follow a carefully drafted script. To conclude everything, using telephone in data collection can bring more disadvantages than advantages in collecting data. The person needs to aware of all information before make an analysis. That's all from us. Thank you for listening.